So I was part of Zululand Yacht Club. You sail out of Richards Bay Harbour, and it's you're sailing offshore. So I started on Oppies. I think I jumped out of Oppies pretty quickly because I was just too big. I never made Worlds, but I went to African Champs in Tanzania, and it was lacquer because the wind was pumping. But I went onto lasers pretty quickly, 4.7. Just because of my weight, I was way too heavy for an Oppie. On the 4.7, I went to Worlds. I can't remember how many times, but there was a good bunch of us KZN boys that were always racing against each other. That era of guys that went from 4.7 to radial to full rig, it was a good bunch of guys, and we went to. It must have been, I think, 2 World Champs. We went to Dubai a couple of times on the 4.7, and so I moved off of 4.7 and then changed to radial on the laser pretty quickly after that, and I spent maybe 6 months on the radial, and then I don't think I even sailed a national champs on a radial, and then I went straight to full rig and sailed nationals, did a lot of training in Simonstown, full rig. I probably spent more time on the 4.7 sailing internationally than full rig, just because of the circumstances. And then, I did well on the full rig. So that was probably over a period from, Oppies to full rig laser. It was from when I was 12, started on Oppies, sailing, racing and entering all the regattas around the country. And then stopped full rig when I was probably 17, 18, because of jumping onto the fin. I remember whenever we sailed lasers, there would often be fin guys sailing, and I would watch them, and I'd always aspire to sail a fin because I always thought, it's for the big guys, and it just looked like an awesome class, just with the sail and just the old school design. We just sailed the fins around. I think I must have been 16 or something. And from that moment on, I was just like, I have to sail this boat. And I was a lot bigger than a lot of the other guys I was racing against. So it was always tough, lighter conditions. And on the fin, I think I flourished because weight wasn't as big as, weight was advantage, and I was a lot taller. So I just naturally progressed, but also as soon as I saw the fin, I was like, I'm hooked. It was just the look of the fin, the guys, also the guys behind the class. After I saw the fins and got involved with the fin guys, and my grandfather also came from the fin class, just hearing stories about the fins and then seeing them in real life and sailing on them and swapping boats with the guys, I was hooked. And then from that moment on, I think I lost interest in the laser. When I was really keen to get into the fin class, I was fortunate enough to get one of the new boats that came into the country. I can't remember the exact logistics, but my dad organized a couple of boats to come into the country. I think it was 2 or 3, and one of them was mine. So I was very fortunate to have my dad fund, one of the boats. So he sailed. So my dad bought himself a boat and then bought another boat for myself. So what happened is I did a nationals in It was Mykonos, just next to Langebaan. And I met a guy, his name was also Ali, but I've forgotten his surname. We got chatting, and what ended up happening is I joined him on like a thin circuit the following year. So, I was based in the UK with him. I rented a boat from him, and we basically traveled around Europe and sailed quite a few events. And I quickly learned, there's some good sailors in South Africa, but when you multiply that by like 10, 20, you can imagine racing against like 30 David Chiltons and like 20 Greg. 2008 was my first one. I was 18. The year I won, my first win was 2010, so I was 19. So the first one was quite tough. That one was tough. I remember the last day was quite a light wind day, and I wasn't like light wind. I really enjoyed the wind. I remember that one being great. I think it came to last race in the light wind correctly, and then the second one I do remember being a lot better, because by then I sailed with more, learned from the guys, and now I could at least sail quick in the right direction. I was very young. I was young and fit and strong and loving it, loving the sailing. But I think I was very inexperienced, because it's all good sailing, fast in a straight line. But if you can't sail in the right direction, then the guys are. Yeah, so Saldanha, I remember it being Saldanha side of Langebaan. It is a bit more protected. It's inside a bay. You do get swell, but it was nothing like Richards Bay. The years where I circled the most, it was before David Chilton's time on the Finn. He was sailing, but it was definitely Greg Davis, I would say. Greg Davis, and probably the second nationals was David Chilton as well. Yeah, the last one I did was 2012 Aliens. At that point, I started my studies. So I was sailing overseas in 2011, and I applied to uni, and basically I needed to get my studies going, and it was not an easy call. Like, I continued to sail. I kept my Finn with me in Stellenbosch, and I would drive through to Simonstown and Cape Town to sail as much as I could, but it wasn't. For me, I wasn't able to maintain both, so I focused on the studies. Yeah.